I was like, honestly, like, I think I booked it.
Yes, you did.
It's the day-to-day life, wanna know what it's like.
Mom.
Just an average family with a few million likes. We're a husband, a wife, and a kid in the limelight. 24/7 just to F and get by. It's a house full of love, no we can't let it fade. So let's add a podcast just to make it insane. It's that MOMager life, we take it day by day.
Mom.
What do you want? I'm trying to sing a theme song.
It's so good.
That's our real life, you guys. What's up, everybody? I am Felicia.
I'm Malachi.
And I'm Lauren.
Welcome to MOMager, a Barton fan podcast where we take you behind the scenes of Hollywood family life.
All right, I'm stoked to introduce you guys to our guests this week because we have my twin, my best friend, Meg Donnelly, and her beautiful parents, Mike and Liz. Give it up, everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like we got a laugh track too.
That's so great.
This is a special moment on MOMager. All right. Mike, you are the first dad guest
Yes.
that we have ever
You
had.
are the first dad.
You finally have a friend.
I know. This means a lot to me. I'm usually out here on my own, but we're so happy to have you
Have
here.
dads been asked and declined, or
Every single one of them. Nobody wants to be in this space with me, so thank you.
He's alone.
No, we haven't had too many dads yet. Well, to be fair, like a couple of people, they're like Freya and Sarah. Mike was in
dad
the
popped in on a
the
video.
UK.
Yep.
We got a video.
So we have a whole video with
But
him.
You're the first.
Yeah, you're the
in
first
real life.
in the studio.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
All
get
right.
ready
Yes.
for the dad jokes coming in hot.
That's right. Lauren's
terrified.
hoping that he's not the only person
You have
today
no
with the
idea.
dad jokes.
We were running through the pod yesterday, and it was just like so many dad jokes. It was absurd. It was
I
just
think
like,
you were like gearing up for it, honestly.
I'll
He was
try
like,
to
maybe
keep
I
it-
should
I'll try
work
to keep
these
it
out
tame.
right now.
All right. Well, Meg, you don't really need much of an introduction, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you one anyways.
What?
You worked on American Housewife, The Winchesters. You've done a lot of animated roles: High School Musical, the musical, the musical, the series, the musical, the series, the musical, the series.
Musical series, musical series,
That's
musical
actually
series.
the full title. Yeah.
And then of course Zombies 1, 2, 3, and now.
The best one yet.
Shout out, best one yet.
Zombies
All the other
4.
three suck. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't.
I'm completely playing. But you are also an incredible singer. You've released a ton of music. Na 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 na. I'm in my bag. I think we're all obsessed with it. We were talking about this earlier, right before we started, and
Yeah,
I think
we literally can't get it out of our heads.
Thank you.
No, it's
Seriously.
like, it's the hookiest song. It's the minute you started playing it on Instagram and like posting things about it, I was like, yes, yes. This
Thank
is like, it's such a
you.
bop. I love it.
I feel like the
appreciate
thing
it.
though that we talk about is with all these roles and everything like that, being on MOMager is kind of a moment to like talk about who you are outside of the roles and like who you are as an actual person.
Yeah.
And I've obviously known you
Mm.
since I was 9?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we were like trying to, which would have made you how
I think
how
I
old
was
were
like
you when
16.
16? Okay.
Yeah, like 16, 17. So yeah, I feel like you
It
were
was
like
Zombies
8,
You were
9.
my
9.
age,
Yes.
even though I'm not 17 for much longer.
Wait, I
He's
think
almost
I
18.
have photo proof around that
That's right.
time.
This
Oh
is
my gosh.
Oh.
That's-
Oh.
you and Jenna and yeah,
That
the two of
is
you, the three
The
of you.
guys
wild.
behind the pole there.
Yeah, is that you
I'm
like
in.
on the right?
But that was on the little,
Don't you have a video of it, Lauren?
that was like a
Dude.
D23.
Fan
Yeah, it was
Fest,
something
I
like
think,
that.
right?
Fan Fest.
Oh,
Fan
Fan
Fest.
Fest. Yeah, that was
So
a
were
great
you guys
day.
there for that? Were either of you there?
We were.
Yeah,
You
we
were.
were there.
I
Yeah,
was
it
not
was
there
a
for
lot.
that, but Lauren was there. So maybe you guys
No,
met
yeah.
then.
Probably.
Look at you guys. There's Malachi
Wait.
and Jenna up top.
What was I wearing?
Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
What was I wearing?
Come on, dancing. Hey. hey.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so wild.
I was promoting Stuck in the Middle, and you were promoting Zombies 1.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Is
Yes.
that the one you sang at with Kylie? Like with Kylie? Did
I
you
don't.
sing
I
with
think
this
that
one?
was another
different
one.
Another
Yeah.
Fan
Kylie?
Fest?
This was the Kylie's there too.
Cantrell?
That's so
no,
funny.
Russell.
Kylie Russell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there
I was
is,
like-
yes, because I have another video that I was going when I was going through. Oh yeah, because there she
Yeah,
is.
cool.
That's
Yes.
That's
Kylie. And
Okay, and you guys
Oh
are
my
also
gosh.
what's playing in the background is DuckTales. That's me
Felicia.
singing.
It's Felicia's
That's
voice.
so weird.
No way.
Yeah, that's me
Really?
singing the DuckTales theme song while you guys are on the Fan Fest.
Wait,
That
wait,
is
hang on.
so
What's the
wild.
other?
Yeah.
What was the other show that was up there?
Freaky Friday. It was like Cozy and
With
Heidi.
Cozy. Remember
Oh,
because
with
I said Cozy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. I
Yes.
said
I-
Cozy
I
this
don't-
video too because she's been doing a ton of songwriting and stuff.
She has.
And
Did she write? She's friends with
Matt Tischler. She writes with Matt all the time.
Matt.
Yeah.
Is she friends with? Was it?
That's-
Jaheim.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jaheim
yeah,
and
yeah.
Matt. I believe she is.
friends
Yeah.
With, okay.
I feel like I'm not sure when it's coming out, but Matt, who
Oh.
wrote.
You're gonna bleep that out.
We'll
Yeah.
bleep- it's
Let's
fine,
bleep
we'll
that
bleep-
out.
Oh,
We'll bleep it.
I
didn't even think about that.
There's a song on Zombies 4 that we
You can just say
know,
it.
like the writers. Yeah.
We got the power of the bleeper.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Matt and Cozy worked on this like movie together.
Yeah.
So that's how they know each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small world.
So
Everybody.
weird.
It's
That's
like
crazy.
it's such a small world. It's
Yeah, but to go back to that, that's like so. It feels like that was like such a beginning moment
Yeah.
for you. Like one of your first big things, like big, Disney D23 type
Yeah.
fan
Yeah.
fest things that
same.
you had done. Yeah, that's crazy. Was
Yeah.
that the first Disney Channel thing that you had done, Zombies, or you had done other stuff?
Yeah,
before?
that was the first one. I
Okay.
feel like in New York, like I had auditioned for
Yeah.
them since I was like 5 or 6. But yeah, that was the first thing that I did. Yeah, with Zombies.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was the beginning of y'all's Disney Channel.
Yeah. But I
Shout
was
out.
at Jungle Ball as well when he was, I feel like you were there as well.
Oh, he
You
for
had
sure
I was
to be.
out. I went to all the balls, and I thought I was
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
My little homeschool.
yeah.
I mean, that was like a fun. You guys went to the balls?
No, I wasn't, but my
You would go?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, Disney used to put on like basically a dance.
It'd be
right?
like a little mini prom. For
like
us.
or homecoming or
Yeah.
because a lot of the talent couldn't go to regular school, and so they would put on these parties for everybody, and they always had a theme, and that was the Jungle Ball, and then there was like
the rainbow ball, the
Ra-
emerald ball.
they were
There's
all
so
different
many.
themes.
Yeah.
And then we haven't had them since
The
COVID.
Jungle Ball was great because also that was like right after that morning I had like my second to last audition for Zombies. I was just there because American Housewife was ABC. So it was like in the Disney
Oh,
family, but I
wow.
wasn't
Okay.
with Disney Channel yet. So Judy Taylor has
Yeah.
always been like a huge champion for me. Like,
course.
We
and
love her.
for those who don't know Judy Taylor, she was like the head of casting for Disney
Yeah.
Channel for like
Love
the whole
Judy.
time
Sweetheart.
for all the iconic
She's our
movies and TV shows.
Casting mom.
Yeah, and because she was so nice and so welcoming, I genuinely had no idea she was the head of casting. I thought she was just like, I don't even know what I thought her. I
Someone's-
didn't even know that much at that time.
Relative.
But I thought that like 'cause she was just so sweet.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way she's head of casting. So, anyways, at the Jungle Ball, she was like, "How did your audition to go today?" And I was like, honestly, like I think I booked it.
Yes, you did.
Wait, did you tell? No, did you tell us this story in New Zealand?
I think I might have.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's
Honestly,
so
I think I booked it.
funny.
I
That's
was like, yeah, like I have
hilarious.
a really good feeling about it. Like I think I booked it. Like I'm so excited. And she was like, "That's great, sweetie." And I had
Wait,
no
what
idea.
if that was the push though?
Maybe I don't know. Like I genuinely had no idea.
It
And then
went great. I think I booked
And my
it.
dad was there
That night,
after.
so she
Yeah.
comes over to me and she said, I said, oh, what'd you talk to Judy about?
Yeah.
She goes, oh, I just said that I think I booked the thing. I said, you know who she is, right? And Meg's like, no. I said, she's the head of casting.
Oh.
And then she was just like, oh my God, I got to go
My
say
God.
something.
I was like, should I say something? Should
And
I?
so Judy
Yeah.
came over later and she was laughing and she just said, oh, it was just so cute.
That is
So-
such a good
Yeah.
story. I love that so much.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'm so glad to have you guys on though, because I haven't really had a chance to meet you. You came out to New Zealand at the end of
Right.
shooting, but I had already come back to LA by then.
I got to meet you guys in New Zealand.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
My dad's the OG.
That's right. Lauren stayed. He was there, but I haven't had a chance to meet you, and I'm just so excited because we love Meg so much. And I'm just so happy to meet like the parents behind Meg because like you guys raised like such a cool woman.
Oh, well, thank you.
But like seriously,
Yeah.
we like really, really love her and love that she's a part of our lives and that we get to be a part of your life. And like I love their relationship. I love that, you know,
Meg's like
it's
Meg's
only
like the
children.
big sister I never had,
Right.
and I'm like the little brother she never had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just really it's really so fun. So I'm so happy to meet you guys. And Mike, you know, your moves on Instagram have spoken for themselves. So I knew that we would be best friends, Mike. The minute I saw this post on
Please,
Instagram.
if you're watching on YouTube, enjoy this. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes. This was like
I'm in my bag. No, his woe is the hardest woe you'll ever see in your life. Ready? Yo! You got some light feet here.
It's just
Hey.
Oh!
yes.
Let's go, Mike. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
See now,
The problem is my other two dance videos have like 2.5, 3 million views. This one's only in the 80,000.
Oh, listen.
So I was like, Meg, did you like lose some steam or what?
we do the same thing though, because Malachi will post a TikTok with Lauren and I'll be like, hey, let's post one with me because I want to see who's going to get more views, mom or dad. So it's always a competition. That's hilarious.
ones, man. I've had some great viral ones. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think I've had more viral ones though. I'm just saying.
My favorite is when you showed up to set when it was like dressed like one of the
Oh my
characters
gosh,
day and you
yes.
dressed up as Malachi.
Yeah.
Oh, and I put him in my in those
and
like.
you're just going.
I have that picture. We will add it in post. Thank you for that.
Yes, it's like one of my favorite videos of all time. It's so good.
That's amazing.
so funny.
Did you guys always feel like Meg was going to do big things?
Oh, well, we always thought that she was, whatever she put her mind to,
Sure.
she definitely was going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're not in the business at all. We're
Yeah.
not musically inclined or anything. And people were telling us when she was little that she had such a great voice and she was really great on acting and all that. And, you know, when you have a little kid, you're like, oh, yeah, they're being
Right.
nice kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Until she actually started taking off with it and just like
You're like,
totally
oh, maybe she is
she
good.
really is good. And she loved it so much. And we were just like, because she loves it so much, she's going to be so good at it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's amazing. And it seems like most of the time, has it been like a split between both of you, either on set or off set? Like, as far as like sometimes your dad's on set with you, sometimes your mom's on set with you? You guys tagged in and out?
Yeah, it was that. It was like in the initial.
Well, the first year, she did a show when she was like 11. And so my job, I was working remotely before it became a thing. At those years, I took Meg to the auditions and when she booked something, I would sit on the set and work on the set. And that lasted up until the first year of American Housewife.
Okay.
So Meg and I came out, but as you know, with the shows, we didn't know if it was going to keep going or not.
Right.
So we kept the place in New York City and Liz kept her job. I resigned and came out with Meg.
Wow.
And then after it got picked up for the second season, Liz put it in for an early retirement. It took about 6 to 8 months to get it. It took a little while. But then once Liz got that, then she went to, I was like, I graduated, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I love being on set. It was
Yeah.
so much fun.
Being on set,
Absolutely, yeah.
people don't realize. They think it's all this glamorous stuff.
No.
Those days are long.
They're
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
A lot of sitting
Yeah.
around,
Oh,
a lot
you're
of
sitting in
hurry up
that
and wait.
trailer.
Yep.
And then once work was over, because on the West Coast, so I picked up another job and I worked remotely. But so once the job's done,
yeah.
so because it's 3 hours different, so it's 2:00, California time. And so some nights when there were night shoots and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I got like 8 more hours. And so she's in tutoring. Like at this time, she's still like a student.
Right.
So I go out, you talk to the transportation guys, you talk to this,
Totally.
you walk around, you're like, and then, all right, I just killed another hour.
That's hilarious. I feel like dad's on set, it's a total different vibe. Mom's on set, at least
So
for
true.
us.
True.
I'm like, I'm in my spot. I like get my seat. This is where I'm gonna be for most of the day. I'm gonna like either read a book. Dads are like, what can I do?
I
Where
remember
can I go?
we were having this conversation on the Freya
With
on the
Freya,
with
yeah.
the podcast with Freya and Sarah, and we were talking about because on Z4 there was like the Disney dads.
Yeah,
And it was
They have a
it
whole
was
group chat.
It was they have a group chat. It's what Mike.
Yeah.
Who all's in it?
And we joked
Mike, Dan,
at one point. We
Andrew.
joked that we were going to shoot videos of us going around and assisting all the different departments of the movie. You know what I
In
mean?
the
Because they
dream-
need us. Like
They-
it's important.
yeah.
In the true set, one of the rocks was like there's like one piece of like paper mache, like the stuff that they use and then they paint it. There's one piece of paper mache that Mike actually laid because he walked on set. He walked on
Mike's
set,
claim to fame.
and Freya's dad just walks in. And he's like, "Hey, what can I do to help?" And there's starts
He's
laying
just
the
painting.
paper
So
It's like-
funny because you need
Yeah.
something to do.
Yeah.
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 But on American Housewife
so
though,
funny.
so it was mostly moms on set, and then the one character's dad, Daniel DiMaggio, his dad would come every like once a week or twice a week, but the mom was normally there. So what happened is there's a monitor in the back, as you know,
Yeah.
and so they all sit around the monitor
Yeah.
to watch, and it's with the hair and makeup people.
Right.
So like the one day I'm like, all right, I'll just go sit with the moms and
Yeah.
watch. But the stuff that they were talking about, I'm like, I'm out.
I'm done.
like you know, they
It
were
was the
talking
gossip
about-
corner.
Oh, just got. It was mostly like intimate stuff. I'm
Oh.
like, listen,
You're
I
like, no,
don't-
bye.
Yeah, I was like, oh, so Mike, what about? I was like, no, man, I'm not, I'm not going there.
So like, how do you feel about this song?
Oh, that's so
That's so
funny.
So
good.
like every time I would go, I'd be like, all right, I'll try again. And then it was just like, oh man,
No, I think they were just doing
So
that because I
funny.
sat there all the time. It
You
was a
were
lot of
fine.
fun.
Yeah, they did it to
They did
get
it because
you.
you showed up.
They were just
trying to
getting
get
you.
me.
That's
So,
hilarious.
Meg, I'm curious. I feel like with me and my parents, it's always been kind of like we're one unit. And I know that with like a lot of my friends and stuff like that have siblings, it's kind of split between like there's the kids and then there's the parents. But like I said, like us, we kind of move as one team. Has it been similar for you guys?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, even in my dad, even just saying that, you know, they kind of like split the coast. And then when we knew that the show was going to have longevity, like she put in her early retirement, it's like, it's always like we want to be in the same place no matter what. And I definitely feel that too. I feel like, I mean, we have matching triangle tattoos.
I love it.
So we call
Guys, we gotta
ourselves.
walk in.
I know.
Yeah.
We're like
Me and
tattoos,
Dad
too.
have matching ones.
Yeah.
You-
Nice.
Well,
You need to
fixed it
get
without
3.
me.
But yeah, we definitely like run as a triangle for sure. And I'm so close with my parents, but I also really lucked out because they're really amazing people. Because I always am like, you know, with only children, it's like, you know, you have undivided attention with your parents because it's not splitting the time. But sometimes it can be scary because if you're in trouble, then there's nobody else.
Nobody else.
There's nobody else.
He knows exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but I think I would prefer it against like anything because I think that it makes our relationship so special. But if they weren't amazing, awesome, spectacular people, then maybe it would be the worst thing in the world. I don't know. But I don't have to know that. So yeah, because
Yeah,
they're
You're
awesome.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that we could get to know you guys a little bit better because we haven't really gotten to know you as well.
Except for
Um,
you, Meg. I know
Well,
everyone.
Yeah.
but I was thinking to do that, we could have a little segment called Behind the Spotlight so we could kind of get to know mom and dad a little bit better.
Please.
Okay,
Let's do
Lauren,
it.
we've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
some questions.
Okay.
Take it
In
away.
this first round, Meg, we want you to tell us which parent each statement applies to best.
Okay.
All right, so here you go. First up, you're a great person, but you got to stop trying to reorganize everything.
Probably mom.
Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely take after my mom in that way. Where like it's like a what do you say? A something mess where it makes sense in our heads of
An
like where
organized
every
mess?
organized
No,
mess.
Yeah.
Organized mess.
Yeah, it looks like a mess, but we know where everything is. But he is literally the complete opposite. Like irons his like running shorts to go running.
Oh, wow.
Like irons everything. Only has a
Really?
couple pair of clothes. Very simple.
Are your clothes
Us on the other
color-coded in your
hand,
closet?
we have like 25 shoes.
Right.
You know, I weed out. Like I don't have a lot of like material stuff. So
Okay.
so I donate. Like so
Wow.
if they buy me like a new T-shirt, that means one's got to go. Like
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, very
Gotta
minimalistic.
go.
Yeah.
so I have like 2 hoodies and I have like one jacket. Like it's very. And the nice thing about California is you don't need.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot. Yeah.
So it's easy
Yeah.
to not have a lot of things.
So
But
where do
I
you
just
think your
don't
daughter got
clutter.
her
I just-
fashion addiction from?
Got it.
Definitely my mom. She has the coolest clothes, especially from like all of your work stuff that you would wear, like all these like heels and like
Love it.
you made it so fashionable. So there's all these things from the 90s that most of the stuff that I wear that's cool is probably my mom's from
Oh,
the
that's
90s,
amazing.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you
from
kept.
back in the day. Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
love
kept-
that you
And she's
kept
always
that
I
loved
kept
jewelry
this
and
stuff
all. Yeah, so I 100% got all of that from my mom.
I
Well,
love
that was
that.
the
So
one
sweet.
thing I was keeping my fingers crossed that we would end up having the same
girl.
size shoe.
Oh,
And we
amazing.
did.
Because as she was, and I'm like, oh, she won't be able to have all my shoes because my foot was bigger than my mom's, and she had a lot of pumps and
Yeah.
all kinds of great shoes, but I couldn't fit in them. But you know,
That's
we ended
amazing.
That's a
up-
I love that you
conversation that I
kept
had
it.
with my dad a lot because
Yeah.
he used to have he used to have like the big boss jeans and like all that like
Ooh, yeah.
big stuff and he never kept any of it.
No.
And
No
I didn't
way.
get, so I got
And
And
nothing.
lately, all I hear is you got to get rid of these skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Today,
Today, we thrifted these for him
Yes.
in New York. We took him thrifting.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was when I got
Thrifted in New
these
York.
and he
what
got
kind are
like,
these again?
those
They're
Dickies.
Dickies. Thank you. I got my
Dickies,
first pair of
nice.
Dickies. It's very, very
Nice.
exciting.
Thrifted in
I
New
was
York.
proud of him.
Yep.
I was very proud
They're
of
very
him.
that's great.
large. I have a lot of room in them. It's wonderful.
Very large, very large.
Okay, next
All right.
question.
Well, no, I'd love to throw this first question over to Malachi real quick. Same question. Hey, you're a great person, but you got to stop trying to reorganize everything.
My dad.
Easy.
Actually, not even true. My mom.
What are you talking
Both
about?
of them.
Both in our own unique
Well,
ways.
here's the thing. My mom gets honestly, no. I think it's my mom that it needs things to be clean, but then my mom tells my dad to tell me that things need to be clean.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah. There's something under this that we need to
I don't know.
mine out. What
Let's
is it?
unpack that. No, we're not
No,
unpacking.
I think honestly it's kind of even split, but I think that
He's way more OCD about stuff.
very OCD.
But I do
But
go
you
on
like
like
things to be
organizing
clean.
tangents. Like
Yes.
Yes.
I need to like purge
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
and get rid of like anything that like I'll go through our kitchen cabinets and I'm just like clean it all out.
And when
reorganize
she's going through, when
everything.
she's purging
But I do that,
something, she's
like-
like, okay, you need to purge, Malachi. You have to do it with me.
It's true. I do that. I'll be like, it's time to clean out your closet.
Yeah.
Let's, pack a bag.
Which
I
actually
get that. I
needs
do
to
Yeah.
that too. Like one random Tuesday, I'll be like, "Okay, I'm cleaning the whole house."
Yeah.
And why? I don't know.
Yeah,
but-
just because.
Just
you get the bug.
Therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Therapeutic.
Well,
Right.
You
Question?
haven't done that recently.
Yeah,
Liz and I are walking around like I'm
oh
cleaning.
my
like,
gosh.
the
I went over on Sunday, looked like a bomb went off. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it is funny because like now that she's living there, you
Yeah.
know. So we all lived there originally. Like, I
Okay.
guess about 2 years ago we
Mhm.
went up to
Yeah.
the beach, but so we all lived there. So you almost feel like it's your house.
It's your house,
really
but it's not.
your house,
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
so but the minute I walk in, I
interesting.
see the dishes in the sink. You're like, oh.
That's
You just
funny.
go over. You start cleaning.
That's
Put it in the rack,
hilarious.
like, I go outside. It's just
You're
like,
like,
you know, the
should
pool
I?
has leaves. I was like, oh.
Maybe got it.
And then in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm a guest. What am I doing? I
Yeah.
wouldn't do this at a friend's house.
That's funny. That is
I,
so
I love
funny.
that. And my dad, growing up, at the end of every night, you can find him
No,
in the
not at the
kitchen.
end.
Well, at the
In
end
the
of every-
middle of every night.
He loves to clean.
He
He's
loves
always
it.
there rocking
Yeah.
the dishes. And honestly, I kind of feel the same way. So
Yeah.
it's oddly therapeutic just to get
Mhm.
things
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
in order and ready for the next day. I
We'll be
like
like eating and he'll be like, hey, are you done with that? I'm like, no, bro, I still have half a burger on my plate.
That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
Statement number 2. You ready, Meg? You're the one who always knows how to make people laugh when things get hard.
Oh, my dad. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like he's really good at storytelling, really good at making people laugh, especially making me laugh, especially in hard times as well, making me and mom laugh.
I love that.
Yeah, so
I get that vibe already.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
Meg and I, like, again, probably like you guys, your experience, we spent a lot of time in cars going to auditions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Meg taught me Lil Wayne. She taught me. So
Yeah.
I taught her Tupac and Biggie
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
originally.
That's right.
And so the one time she was little, she's like sitting in the car and she's rocking to Tupac and she's singing something. And my wife gets in the car. She's like, what did you teach her?
I'm like, what is going on?
So Meg, so all those days driving like to audition, because we lived, before we moved into the city full time, we lived about 45, 50 minutes in New Jersey,
Yeah.
like in the rural area of New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Mhm.
So at a certain point, so she started doing it at like 9, 10 years old professionally. And like there was like 4 or 5 days a week you had to drive into the city. So I had to rush home from work. At this point, I wasn't working remotely. So you had to
Yeah.
rush home. And it was like right after school, you had to pick her up, like get her something like a snack and then
Right.
drive to the city. So we spent all that time.
I love
And so
it.
coming out of the city, it was like, the traffic. It was a half
Terrible.
hour through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so that was all the time that it was just making jokes and her teaching me rap. And
That's amazing.
so
Yeah, it's so much fun.
that's where it mostly started, like in that period of time.
Those are beautiful
We
memories.
used to do karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had like car
Aw.
jams. I just
You
realized
have a
I still
highlight
have
on your Instagram.
yeah, I have a highlight still on my Instagram. That's like
Just of us singing.
us
That's
singing.
so
Aw.
cute.
Yeah,
This is one of the things I'm loving about doing this podcast so far is
Yeah.
just the chance to reflect on our life together.
Yeah.
Because like how often do we sit down and take the time to
Mhm.
really, because sometimes the entertainment business moves so quickly.
Oh
you
yeah.
Life
know,
moves
and there's
so
pressure
quickly.
and you're
Yeah.
just going from one
Yeah.
project to the next to the next. So to have a chance to sit and reflect on this, I think
Yeah,
is
it's
worth
so
it. You know,
fun.
even if no one watches or listens, it's good for us.
Except they will. Except they
It's good
will.
therapy.
It's such a similar, you guys had such a similar experience, like
Yeah.
with an only child and like
Right.
a child
Mhm.
actor and stuff. Because some people come in later, like a lot of her friends
Right.
started later or whatever. They
Right.
didn't
Mhm.
start when, and then I don't know how Malachi, but like just all the auditions you didn't get.
Mhm.
Like people don't,
All the no's.
she was at a question and answer once and a guy got on the mic and he goes, did you ever audition for something that you didn't get? And
I was like,
started laughing.
You're like,
I was
let
like,
me tell you
Yeah.
all of
Most,
them.
honestly,
right. It
yeah.
is. That's it.
All right, Meg, who is this person? You've got an opinion about everything, but I still love you.
She's like,
Honestly, I mean, kind of both.
I mean, we are parents, so we have
Yeah,
an opinion.
I would
You
say
know?
both, but I would say more so like on the stubborn side, probably you, because like I feel like we both, if we have like a separate view, like we'll argue about it, or not argue, but like
No, we debate it.
we debate it for
Yeah.
like a very long time,
Yeah.
even though there's gonna be no compromise. But I feel like we're both pretty stubborn.
I
That
love
is
that.
true.
Yeah.
That runs in the whole thing.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
family.
no,
I mean,
know,
I think that it's like we're so competitive. Between the three of us, we all want to be right about everything, and yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that deeply. So we're, obviously we keep saying this, but it's just the three of you guys. It's the three of us. So for this next round, Lauren, I want to move on to round 2, and this is questions that you guys can all answer.
All right, here we go. Who's most likely to leave the house without their keys?
Just on the count of 3, just point to who the person is. 1, 2, 3.
yeah, Meg, can I point too?
Sorry.
Definitely.
Mom
Meg.
got
Yeah.
2
Wait, but don't you
points.
barely
Meg
drive?
got 1 point.
What?
Is that-
Don't you barely
No, I
drive?
pointed to Meg.
Oh, you did. Okay.
No, yeah, I don't really drive, but I have like house keys,
No house
Oh.
keys.
and I still leave them.
Well, that's why when she was going to New Zealand, that was like one of the things I was concerned about, was that because she was living on her own.
Right.
And if she left the keys in the apartment and then went to set, and then if there wasn't anybody to let her in.
Right.
So we were just like
Yeah.
great.
Like
That'll-
every morning, it was
she
like,
brought
"Don't
a
forget your
bowl with
keys."
her to make sure you put the keys in
That's
the
amazing.
bowl so that
Oh
when
my
you
God.
walk
Remember
out.
my makeshift?
and-
I remember I showed you that picture. My makeshift like lock, because I got scared
Oh,
that
yeah.
someone was gonna come in the door for whatever reason. I can't remember
Oh my
why.
gosh, in New
Yeah,
Zealand, right?
And I stacked up like 3 chairs
Stop.
underneath.
Yeah, no.
I will send you guys that picture so you guys can put
It's
it on
so
there.
good.
Yeah,
Please.
it's actually ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Who is the best cook?
Ooh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Oh,
All right,
thank
Mom.
She
you.
was like me. She was
She was
like,
like, she knew.
Because they don't cook at all.
this is like, she was like, I'm not even gonna point. I'm gonna let you point at me.
I don't know.
So
Hey, Meg
I
made it.
win by
Huh?
default,
Meg
actually.
orders everything. Meg orders everything on Postmates. or
No,
whatever.
yeah, I do.
And if it's toast or in the microwave, I don't have patience.
Yeah.
I could cook if I mean, I know how to cook. I mean,
Yeah.
my
you
mom
needed to.
my mom was in the restaurant business,
Oh,
so
neat.
I did work as a cook, but just I don't have patience.
No.
To,
Yeah.
Hey, Meg
No,
made a
but
pretty
yeah,
good
it's really good.
charcuterie board.
Oh yeah, I love making charcuterie boards, but you don't have to like cook anything. It's
Yeah.
just all like it looking
making
cute
it
and
look cute and
pretty.
pretty,
It's all
yeah.
her
Yeah.
artistic
Yeah.
touches.
What's your
And
like
all that.
favorite meal that your mom cooks?
This stir fry is so good. Like the vegetable stir fry with
Ooh.
rice.
Yeah.
Really good. I'm trying to think what else. All the pastas that you make are always so good.
Yeah.
Like growing up, that's what I remember.
Nice.
Yeah. Ugh, so good.
Yum. Love it.
I'm hungry.
All right. Thank God for HelloFresh. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
Because I don't cook, but HelloFresh has helped me
Yes.
be able to start to do.
It's true.
It's like,
Mhm.
color by numbers. It's like I can do that. I can follow the instructions.
We
And
get-
HelloFresh could help you too.
we get HelloFresh meals twice a week, and
Ooh.
it helps us to eat at home
Right.
twice a
Yeah.
week and have like home cooked meals.
So-
And we do more than just that, but it depends on the week. But like,
Yep.
I got our box yesterday, like on our front porch, and I was literally like, "Great, that's what I'm cooking tonight."
Yeah.
Like, it's so helpful.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Who sings in the shower? 1, 2, 3, go. Meg's the winner.
I
Oh,
sing in the
man.
shower. I talk in the shower.
Really?
I dance in the shower. Yeah, especially like
Hang on,
talking.
you talk in the shower?
Yeah.
To who?
Is that not an only child thing? Am I just crazy?
Oh, no, Meg talks with a lot. I mean, there's times
I
where
used to wait. Did you used to play? Hang on, this is really weird. Hang on. This might have to get cut out. If there's like,
What in the world?
there's like a little hair on the wall.
What is
What?
happening right now?
You know, like when they're in the shower and you
Yeah.
get really bored and there's like one hair on the wall.
Yeah.
You like stick your finger and move it around.
Yeah.
Everybody does that, Malika.
Yeah, that's not
We don't have to cut that out.
Only children. No, but I'll talk to myself all the time to just like let things out. Is that not, you don't do that?
I do it every
Yeah,
once
that's
in a
awkward.
while, but like I think that it's more of just like I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to somebody.
Who?
Like you're practicing.
No, like, yeah, like I'm It's more like I'm practicing a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it's like if I know like I'm gonna be hanging out with somebody, I'm like,
I'm like, so, like, how is it? Yeah, literally.
I'm like I
Wait,
practice my
that's
dap. I'm like,
hilarious.
yo.
Yeah. Okay. good.
Wow.
So wait, do you practice
This is an
scenes in
only
the shower
child
as well?
thing. Yeah,
Like
I
when you do,
think so.
Singing?
like
Scenes, like
scenes, like
scenes.
scene work.
Oh,
Like if
scenes.
you're,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like if I have like an audition or something like that. Yeah, I'll do that in the shower. Yeah. Sometimes if I'm like, if I'm like feeling anxious or this is actually crazy, but like I'll like walk down the street and like have the phone up to my ear and like so it looks like I'm talking on the phone. I'll just be talking. Maybe I should have admitted that out loud. I'll just be talking.
Well, I feel like that's just like a thing
I'm
you
like, so
can do if
basically I'm
you're
feeling
nervous, like or
yeah.
if you're
Oh,
nervous
yeah,
about
no,
the
I'm on my way.
situation.
Like I'll be there in like 5
I'll be
minutes.
there in a second. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, when she was young, though, I remember a few times I would say to Liz, I was just like, "Is someone here?" with me?" And then Liz would
Yeah,
go
you're
out.
right.
And she goes, "Oh no, it's just this Meg." Like
It's
she'd
just
be like in
Meg.
the living room, we'd be in the bedroom, or that, and I was just like, "Who's she talking to?"
I think that is an only
You
child
like
thing.
actually just like
No,
talk to
but
yourself.
you would do that. You would like go to your room and play for hours. Like you could just go
I'd
and
like-
sit
I'd like
and
hang
like
out with my
play
toys.
and like play with your
Yeah,
toys
it's
or
like,
whatever.
yeah,
You're talking to yourself and
My
you're
little
having a
army
good
toys
time.
and
And
we'd
I'm
be
like,
having conversations.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I used to have full transparency. This one might be worse than talking to yourself. I used to have like a 6 foot teddy bear,
Oh yeah.
like a big, like those big ones that sit on top
Yeah.
of the refrigerators at like
Yeah.
Ralph's.
Yeah, yeah.
Like those massive ones. I
Yeah.
got one for Valentine's Day one year from some of our close family friends. Was it
No,
you?
we
Oh,
got it for you.
Yes, we were on vacation with some of our close
Very
family
close
friends.
family friends. Me.
Got this massive bear, and I have conversations with it.
It's Ted.
It's Ted.
Oh my gosh, I'd sit there. Yeah,
That's
dude.
exactly it. And you
Me
love
and him,
Ted.
We grew up to. I literally was watching Ted 4 nights ago. Fell asleep to it. Best movie.
Yeah,
ever.
it's
It was my
great.
dad and I's movie in New Zealand.
Yes, it's so awesome.
who is most likely to eat breakfast for dinner?
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Me?
Ooh.
Breakfast for dinner. I don't eat
2 Megs
breakfast.
and a mic.
No, that's what sorry. I thought you meant like doesn't eat the entire day and then starts
only
like,
starts
you know what I
eating.
mean? Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Like-
I would
yeah.
eat like
Yeah.
eggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would eat
Yeah.
breakfast for dinner for sure. We're talking about barely eating is
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. You're like, I don't want to cook. I want toast and that's it.
No, literally toast.
Yeah. Well, I've been
That's it.
vegetarian since like 1981, most of my life. Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's been over
81?
40 years since you've had meat.
For one time when Meg was little, she asked me to taste something and it had like a little hot dog
Yeah.
in it. That was at Great Wolf Lodge.
You know, like 2008, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
That
Wolf
was the only-
Lodge.
that's
Oh
the
my
only-
gosh.
That was the
Yeah.
only time I've ever.
That was
So
a
since
shock.
1980.
Yeah.
Are you
Early
also
days.
a vegetarian?
No, well, I don't typically eat like red meat or whatever,
I
but
don't-
I
I
like
don't eat red meat
fish
at all,
and
yeah.
shrimp and
Yeah.
like that. I'm huge
Yeah.
salmon fan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like my.
What
go-to.
made you want to, or like,
Well, I started running, so I played football, basketball, baseball, like in high school, and
Okay.
I played baseball in college. And then I started, like, after that was over, I started getting fat from partying. So then I took up running,
Yeah.
and so I really got into it. And
He also has never missed a day of running in like 30 years or something.
really?
Wow.
He runs like 6 miles every day.
No
that is
way.
true. But
Yeah, it's true.
See, stubborn,
That's
committed.
amazing.
There we go.
Definitely.
so I just started cutting out stuff that wasn't agreeing with me when I was running. So
Yeah.
like meat and,
Yeah.
you know, like so. But then it became like a thing, like where once you start it, you're like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Like there are like fish is I don't eat fish or anything, but it's healthy and you should. But
Yeah.
it's just more like a
Personal.
So
yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about Meg though. So Meg, because there was never any meat in the house,
Yeah.
she just became vegetarian just by you know.
Naturally.
But we said like, oh, so she'd go out to like McDonald's like with all the girls and stuff, and she would order a salad, and some of the moms would be like, oh, I mean, you're torturing your kids. She just get a salad. I said, well, she can eat anything she wants.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know how old you were. You're probably
No,
like,
I realized that they were like cows and stuff, and I was like, oh.
so you were about 10 or 11 years old when she went and she got chicken nuggets. She tried.
Oh yeah, we were at the Jersey Shore, and I was just
Yeah.
I saw chicken tenders on the menu. I think I was like 14. I was like, yeah. And I just
So-
ate it, and that
I
was
like,
it.
God.
And
You're like,
came,
"It's
and she
time."
came home and she was just like, I can't believe you didn't let me eat it. This was like the greatest thing. I said, what did you eat? She goes, chicken nugget. I said, that's the greatest thing. I said, why don't you break it with a steak or something? I
Right.
mean, like chicken nuggets. But she was so upset. I was like, we never told you couldn't eat it. You can eat anything you want.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
hilarious.
So funny.
Okay, one bonus round question.
All right, let's do it. Mike and Liz, if you could trade spots with your daughter or Meg with one of your parents, what's the first thing that you'd do? Who wants to go
Oh, that's
first?
interesting. I'd sing. I can't sing, so
Mm.
I would.
You would just sing.
Just her talent,
Yeah.
just to be able to kind of take that all in and just
Mhm.
experience what she does when she's able to sing and act and do all that.
I don't know. If I was my mom, I feel like the first thing I would do is just feel really accomplished because, I mean, she's done so much great stuff in her life, but also she's very organized and very like on top of everything. And I'm the opposite. So I'm trying to learn from her. I really am. But yeah, I think I would like, I think that would be the first thing that I would do. I would like organize everything and feel great. And then if I was my dad, I mean, I would dance. I would just be able to tell stories for days and it would be awesome.
That's awesome.
Get that blarney. I think I have some of it, maybe not all of it though. That good old blarney. Do you know what blarney is or no?
No.
Nope, but I'm laughing at it like I do know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
It's an
the Irish.
It's an Irish
Okay.
phrase.
It's like you can
So
explain it.
basically, in
I should. I'm very Irish.
Yeah,
but
most
I should
Irish
know that.
families.
Yeah.
Again, I'm older, so I guess it 60s, 70s. So when you had parties at the house,
Yeah.
people would tell stories. And to make the stories good, you just exaggerate like facts.
There's
Got
always
it.
a thread of truth in there, but then
Okay.
to make it
Okay.
sound better, they would add
Amazing.
elements to make it exciting.
So I'm legendary at
I love it.
so these two, they know the real story. So they just start that story, and then it just gets, you
I
gotta
love
get it bigger
Like
and bigger.
the fish
Yeah.
was like this big, and then it was this big. and it was
Right.
this
Or
big.
it's
I
like
got
we
you.
were
I got
fighting
you.
like 3 guys, but it was like
15.
yeah. Yeah. Or the opposite. We were fighting 15 guys. It was only like 2. You know.
I love
Yeah, I
that.
feel that. I feel
You're
that.
you're like that.
So when you do that,
You
it's
exaggerate
a
stories.
blarney.
It's called blarney.
It's called
It's a
blarney.
blarney.
Like the gift of the gab.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gift of storytelling.
I love that.
I remember when
Got
I
some
got my
blarney.
first.
Malika, you're
when
a
I got-
blarney master.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
are.
When I got my-
I know. I'm like,
when I got
this
my
is-
first
maybe
tat-
it's the Irish blood.
When
That's
I
what
got
it
my-
is.
For real.
when I got my first tattoo, on the one on my foot that I got in New Zealand, I was talking to this girl and she was like, "You got any tattoos?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm tatted." I was like, "Yeah, actually." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, no way!" And she's like, "What do you have?" And I was like, "Oh, I have like a Jesus piece." And I was like,
didn't.
and
Why
she's
got a
like,
Jesus piece?
and she's like, "Oh my god, like what?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like 3 crosses."
On
And
my
she-
ankle, hidden
and I
underneath
was
my
like,
shoe. Nobody can
"Three
see
crosses."
it.
And she was like, "Oh, sick." She's like, "Where?" And I was like, "You really had to ask that?" And I was like, "Oh, there's like 3 little crosses on my ankle."
That's hilarious.
Not anymore though.
I know.
And fun fact, I have those same 3 crosses on my rib cage.
That's
That
right.
was
You do.
that was the matching tattoo we
That's
got in New
We
Zealand.
Shout
gotta
out.
do the 3, like they said. We need to do
Mhm.
something. Okay, so take me back to when Meg first started, when she first booked her first role in the business, because this isn't for everybody. Like this business is not for everyone. Were you? I think I heard you allude to this a little bit earlier, but like, were you nervous at all about letting your daughter kind of? It's almost like you're throwing them to the wolves a bit. Did it make you nervous?
Yeah, I think, well, we were very excited,
Yeah.
because this is something she had been working so hard at, and through a lot of the rejection, the fact
Yeah.
that she got this. But then when you step back, you're like, we know nothing about this. We're not in the business. We don't know. And so we had to rely on the fact of people that we did know her at her theater school. And then her manager at the time, she was really great, and we could really kind of, talk to her, but we realized it's us. So we have to be
Yeah.
there for her. And no matter what, whether they think we're helicopter parents or not, we
Yeah.
will always be there, and we will,
Yeah.
help her make decisions on what she wanted to do. But it was an exciting time. But yeah, it was, I guess,
It was stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time.
Yeah.
But the first couple, though, it was like a modeling thing for Target. It was Sesame Street. So it was like
Yeah.
one day.
Cute.
It was like one day things. But the first TV show, that like changed everything. Because then it was shot out on Long Island. So we had to get a place in the city. And so we ended up keeping it and ended up moving there eventually full time. But it was being on a set and all those people and like, and it was 4 main characters, her and 3 boys, and she was the youngest.
Yeah.
So then they were infighting and like they were
all
like,
of that.
it was So it was the learning process was, but it was exciting. It was fun. Like,
Yeah.
and then she had to leave school. So we went to the school and they said, sorry, you can't stay. And so we had to find a internet school.
Right.
So you had to do all that. And so it was, and when she was young, Liz was an athlete. I was an athlete. So we tried every sport. We were hoping
Yeah.
so soccer and
Yeah.
she did she was decent in gymnastics. The other one she had no interest in.
I just do cartwheels and shit.
But the
Type.
but the so the cool thing about it, and I'm sure with you also, is that every kid in the neighborhood was playing sports and the parents went and stuff. So she was the one that was doing something so different.
Yeah.
So it was just cool that we didn't have our childhood over again. You know what I mean? Like this was something so different and out of the box, which was, it turned out that it just makes, the life experience so much better because we just did all this.
Yeah.
And then people are coming to you asking you advice. I'm like, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
If they tell me where she has to be, I get her there. Like,
Yeah,
that's
that's exactly
Yeah.
it. Which has been fun for us to even do this. I hope that this podcast for other young families, that they can, even in the future, that somebody can find this on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or wherever they're listening, and they can go, oh, this is so much information for us because look at all these families that have gone before us and have done it and, some good red flags, some good, all of it just to help guide. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Meg, one of the things that I've loved that you've been doing in your journey is you've been so open about your mental health struggles. And I think Malachi also, there's been an openness to talk about some of the things that so many of us go through, but can be isolating, and feel like, well, I can't possibly talk about this. And then, and coming from someone who I've constantly got thoughts swirling in my head,
Yeah.
all day, every day about all the craziest things. Like I was talking to Felicia the other day. It's like there's a spaghetti sometimes that just is always getting twisted up. And so just to find space to talk to someone that you can trust about what's going on helps so much. I know, Malachi, you've had times where you've gone through anxiety and panic attacks. How have you found, first of all, that sense of isolation, but then how have you found coming out of that, whether it's having the bravery or finding the right opportunity, the space to be able to open up about what you're feeling on the inside?
Yeah, I think I have experienced anxiety pretty severely since I was 8 or so. So even before I really got into the business as well. So yeah, I think I was really like talking about it was never an issue because I always talked about it with them and they never like judged me or like, I don't know, was like, no, that's not true or whatever. It was always like very open. And so
Yeah.
I always felt like I could talk about it. But at the same time, because no one else in my life had that same thing, because it wasn't really like normalized or becoming normalized yet. So it just felt really isolating because I was like, I am crazy. Like I'm not like my peers. And like I just feel really alone in that way. Like that was where that aspect came in from. But then honestly, it wasn't until, because I never really talked about it much until 2020. And then all of these people from my life that I grew up with were like texting me being like, hey, so like that thing that you always talked about as a kid, yeah, I think I have that. And I was like, oh,
Right.
damn. And so I just realized that COVID really affected so many people, especially with like health anxiety or, you know, the fear of not having control because no one knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, I think I want to talk about this publicly because I got into a point of my life where I'm like, I was so open about it and I was like, yeah, like I'm weird. But, and then as I like opened and talked about it, like there's just been so many people that have resonated with that.
Mhm.
And I remember growing up, at least, I think it was Selena Gomez. It was like Teen Beat magazine. And like, it was like, I have anxiety or something like that. And I was like, whoa, no way. So if that could happen in any possible way, like any kid, especially kids,
Yeah.
because you have no idea what's going on in your
Yeah.
head at all. But if they can see it and be like, oh, wow, okay, I'm not alone in that
Yeah.
way. And there's somebody who is like still living their life, but like struggling with
Yeah.
this. That's really cool. So
Have you guys had a chance to talk about your
yeah, we did
panic
actually.
attacks and stuff like that?
Mhm.
We've had a chance to talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it is very similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked about this literally from the beginning of Zombies. It's kind of like we knew each other since we were young, but we didn't actually get to do anything together. Or it was more of just like a we're in the same room type of thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like during this process of filming Z4, it's been like we really connected and like realized that we are weirdly identical.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we definitely had a couple dinners where we were sat down, and I remember I went through a lot of stuff in New Zealand, and it was like there was just like it was helpful to be able to have Meg there to be able to talk and
love that.
chat it out. So
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's like
same with you.
there's freedom in being able to open up with someone else, right?
Yeah.
About
Of
what's
course.
actually going on inside. Like
Yeah.
the isolation is a trap
Yeah.
that just leads to more sadness. It leads to more anxiety,
Yeah.
whatever's going on. And it's funny how we judge ourselves and think, well, I'm a bad person for this, or
Right.
there's something wrong with me. When in fact, there's not. I mean, you're
Right.
just you're who you are,
Yeah.
and to be able to open that up to another person
Yeah.
is so important,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know. And so to have people like y'all voicing this
Yes.
Yeah.
for our for generations right now is
Yeah.
such a gift.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It means people can get out of that place of isolation sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
and find hope and
I
find
think-
freedom.
I think also allowing for parents on the parental side, it's really helpful to know that it's that there's not a stigma attached to it. Like you're not your kid isn't crazy. Like they're not, that it's literally just it's things that kids deal with, and it's letting it be a little more normalized. You know that there are panic attacks that happen. Like when you watch your kid
Right.
go through, we watched Malachi go through them, and
Yeah, because
and
if, they-
deal with
if,
the
if your
anxiety,
kid
and it's
scraped a knee or broke a bone, you're filled with compassion.
Right.
You go to do whatever you can do to help them to heal, right? And this same sort
Yeah.
of things are going on inside of our hearts and our minds all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and deserve just as much love and attention and support. And it's amazing to find that support is there.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The identification though, like so when Meg it just happened like overnight, like pretty much at like 8 years old, like I was just like, and I mean I study I have a degree in psychology, like so we didn't know what was going on, and like and then once we realized what was happening, it was just like, how did I miss that? But when it's your own child,
Yeah.
like it's different. Like if Meg wouldn't have been my child, I probably would have said, oh, that kid's like going through anxiety. But like when you're because when we had teachers saying like, oh, she has stage fright. I'm like, she's been on a stage since she's like 6 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
so it can't be stage fright. It has to, So it is, I mean, and once you find out, then it's easy. It's, not easy, but it's to take the steps to, so then when you see her like, twisting a bottle, like you're like, okay, she needs a time. So when she was on the sets as a young person, I would just go up and just say, listen, she needs a minute, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then Meg would come off and just breathe a little bit, whatever, and then go back out. So really it was identifying it first. And then once it was identified, then, but I think there's something though, and you guys are around creatives all the time. I think it's something with creatives though.
Yeah.
I think it's part of why you could act or sing or dance or get on stage or you could be someone else.
You're just like extra sensitive to everything.
You're in touch.
Yeah.
So I think in the community, like a lot of the kids I know from Meg that are in, acting, a lot of them seem more affected with that, anxiety. Compared to now, I think maybe they just know themselves better or whatever. Because I used to tell Meg that all the time. Like, you just know yourself very well. Like, some kids just don't
think about that.
They're not in touch with themselves, so they don't,
Or they're just trying to get through it, and not asking. And like you said, and we're from an older generation, you just got pushed out there, and not that our parents weren't nurturing and doing it, but they didn't understand. It was just like, go play out in the yard or do whatever. And you kind of were isolated and you just like, well, I got to pick myself by my bootstraps and get going, and I have to do this. And so I think, as you're saying, as parents, you're kind of going back to what you experience and then how is this different? And then just really being able to, adapt and then be there to help and support and, be that person for your child that they can talk to. And I think that's a lot of the things that Meg has been saying is that if you feel this way, go to somebody you trust and talk to them. And whether it's a parent or a teacher or whatever, to make sure that you're talking through what you're feeling, because that's the most important part to really kind of do a self-discovery,
That's
Absolutely.
so important.
And for me, it's been, I've had some best friends that I could talk to about anything. It's been getting into some support groups with some other guys who get what I'm going through.
Yeah.
I've had a couple great therapists at different stages in my journey that have been incredible. There's so many resources out there. I've had pastors that I've been able to speak to at times. So we'll probably link some things in the show notes for this for anyone that might be looking for support like that.
I love that.
That'd be great. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just
for sure.
And I love having this conversation. Great to know that you have a degree in psychology. Actually, I'm back in school right now studying psychology, studying to become a therapist. So that's something that I'm working on and learning about. And I'm fascinated, rightfully so, because it's our family, but by the impact of the spotlight on human psychology. Like, what is it to grow up in the spotlight while you're trying to find yourself, while you're working through all these things. Like you would have had to work through all these things regardless, in or out of the spotlight, but you're doing it in the public eye.
Yeah.
So that almost adds an extra layer onto everything.
But I love what you said too about how as creatives, there is some interesting deep thing that I feel like does happen where we are. Look, music speaks deeply. Creativity just goes deep into your soul. And so for some reason we are like really tapped in maybe just to like all of the way that everything feels,
Yeah.
And it does get magnified somehow. Yeah. It's fascinating to me. I never really thought of it like that.
It was only recently when I was working with somebody, and this woman, Bianca, who played Drake's mom on The Winchesters. She was like, I don't know. I think, because one day I was just, having like all of these just like word vomit. I was just like spiraling, whatever. And she was like, I just think that you should see it kind of more as like a superpower. Like you're just like hypersensitive to everything.
I love that.
And just like, try to like, she's like, it's way easier said than done. It won't happen overnight. But she's like, try to like, think about it positively. Like you can read people better than like whatever, or like you can read energies in the room. You can whatever. And so it's still hard, but like, cause you're just like you just get overstimulated really quickly and you start overthinking, but it's like, maybe sometimes it can be a good thing, especially for like art. And that's why I think creatives are like that, is cause like you have to, if you're acting, you have to know how people emote to things. So then you can read people well. And then you start, I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. It's part of being human. It's like you hear about, the great warrior that has the Achilles heel. It's like, with these great strengths and these great abilities comes that other thing that keeps us in
Yeah.
check in a way. It's like, oh yeah, I'm human, you know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we don't have to be perfect. We don't
Yeah.
have to have it all together all the time.
No.
That's too much to put on anyone.
Yeah. And not because of social media. I feel like everything always, I could rant about social media for days, but it's just like, I feel like even more so, like, even if you're not in like the super spotlight, like if you're not like acting or singing or something, you still have like a mini little spotlight on you.
Absolutely.
And people are still like commenting. So like everyone in some kind of way are in that, which is just so weird because it's just not normal.
That's a
Yeah.
really
You
good
know?
perspective. It's like a mini spotlight on your
Yeah.
profile
And you
in your
have to be
community.
perfect all the time because
Yeah.
if you post one bad thing that stays with you
forever.
For the
and
rest
it's
of your
like we are making mistakes. Like the person I was 2 days ago is not who I am now. You know,
Right.
it's like
I know
it's
it's a generational
crazy.
thing, but I always tell her just turn it off. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's bothering you that much, shut it
Yeah.
off. It's
Yeah.
you don't
I
understand.
can't.
It's so hard. It's
I'm
like,
like, it is.
I mean,
It
we
is.
lost
Just-
TikTok
you don't
for,
need
like-
to go on it.
we
Like,
lost TikTok for 24 hours and
I
everyone's
know.
like, oh my
Oh
God,
my
what's happening?
God.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
lost my crap. No, I'm just kidding.
He had a moment. I was like,
no, I didn't.
You-
What do you mean I had a moment?
no, I'm saying when you
I'm
lost
pulling
it.
up texts.
When you lost it?
My mom texted me and she was like, this feels surreal.
No, I'm saying you did have a moment. I'm not saying I didn't have a moment. I'm just saying you did have a moment.
No,
where
yeah, I was like, it feels weird.
It just felt weird.
Because I feel like, honestly, like, just like, I think the reason it felt weird was because it was such a big part of my New Zealand experience with like the dancers and MK and everything like that. Like, we
Yeah.
had posted so many TikToks. And I realized, I was like, wait a second,
That's all
there's
gone.
so many videos that I'm never going to
Mm.
see again. And I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
the
that sucked.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like losing a
But
photo
then I
album.
went straight to Reels and
Yeah.
I was just like, chilling.
I remember Meg. When we got to New Zealand, I was like, "Oh, so how's the young cast and stuff?" She goes, "Oh, they just TikTok all the time." She goes,
True.
"That's the
gosh.
biggest difference between because Meg was 16 on the first
Right.
one, so she was your guys' age, like on the first album."
Right.
I said, "So what's the big?" She goes, "Oh, TikTok." Like,
Yeah.
Literally.
these guys just TikTok.
All
TikTok.
day.
That's the
Run.
craziest thing. Like another tangent, but the other night on Sunday, because I feel like in New Zealand the whole time, like me and Chandler, Kylie, Milo, we're all experiencing like, oh my God, we're not the young ones anymore. And like we're in our minds mentally, like we think we're 18 still.
Right.
And then you're around like
18-year-olds,
actual like 18
yeah.
year olds. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not that anymore. That's so crazy. But yeah, Drake had an existential crisis after the game night not actually. On Sunday, like when you guys like left and he was like, I'm not a kid anymore, man. Like this is crazy. Yeah. And it's just such a wild experience that we're like, I saw this video.
I know, man. I feel it.
And this
Wait till you get 62.
I know.
I was just gonna say
Same.
42, man. I feel the same. I look at people in their 20s. I'm like, I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
crazy.
There was this TikTok that I sent and my friend Holly sent it to me and was just like, we're cooked. And it was like, what year is considered old to you? Like people born in what year? And they said every single one of them said 2000.
Really?
Is that when
And I
you
was like,
wow.
Is that when you were born?
Yeah.
You were born in 2000?
Yeah.
2000 is not old. I feel like
I know. But also
old
my
is
whole
like
life.
1980 and 1982.
I
Oh.
graduated.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
How
kidding.
about 63?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
1962.
my-
Yeah, but you're the guy that's going to keep us dancing.
That's
so.
right. That's right.
Shout
That's
out.
right.
The other day,
Yeah.
We were in New Orleans and we went to the Saints game and the guy asked me for ID, like to get a beer.
Amazing.
I said, "Do you have to multiply it by 3 now?" Or
That's funny.
That's
I love that. Okay, I want to talk Zombies 4 with you.
Mm-hmm.
Zombies in general, specifically Zombies 4, because we're a little partial, clearly. In Zombies 4, you are a producer now,
Yes.
which is a big deal. This is your first
Yeah.
producer
Yeah.
credit, correct?
Yes.
Which basically means you're technically Malachi's boss,
yes, I am.
which I love.
Say that again.
But
I
this
don't like
is
the sound of that.
this is a whole new chapter of Zombies with Zombies 4. It's pretty special. Tell me why this Zombies chapter feels different than the other ones.
It's so special. If I think about it too much, I'll start crying. I'm actually kind of nervous for the press tour for Zombies 4 because I think I'm going to be crying. Well, while we were filming, I was crying the whole time too.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I think it's really special because we, I mean, like me and Milo being like producers on it, like we had so much say in this movie, which was so cool. And like it's so cool that Disney allowed us to do that with like certain characters, like who we wanted the vampires and daywalkers to be, and like being part of the casting, which was crazy.
So
That
fun.
we were there for that, and the script, everything. It was just so cool to be involved in all of that. And it was such an honor. And so it made it that much more special that we were like also behind the scenes. I think New Zealand made it just its own thing. Like New Zealand is such a character in the movie. It's like, it just
really
makes
is.
it beautiful. It makes it look like just like
Lord of the
really
Rings.
high end. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Like it just was, all the other movies were in Toronto. No, but it's like all the 3 movies like look, it's in the same world. It's in Seabrook, which is Toronto. And like I love Toronto with all my heart, but it was just really cool to kind of go somewhere different.
Else,
And then obviously the new kiddos are just absolutely incredible. And just being able to like,
Which one's your favorite?
I can't answer that. But kind of
We all know what the answer is.
passing the torch to, like, I feel like the whole movie is kind of a passing of the torch. Literally, some parts you guys have torches in your hand. And I think it's really just amazing. It was such a cool process to be a part of and to do that. And I honestly feel like in my mind too, like downplay is not the right word, but I'll just say it. But I just like downplay zombies a lot in my mind of like, oh yeah, it's like when I was 16, I did this like Disney movie and it's like for kids and like what. And during this process, I just realized how special all of it is and like how excited I am for this new movie. It was just like realized so many things. So yeah. Long
Love
answer.
that.
That's why.
I have videos of you crying.
I'm sure you have so many.
I have some videos I should totally share with your mom and dad too. Just like some moments when you and Milo like were, singing certain songs and having a certain moment at a table read and, those moments. Yeah.
No way.
Have you not seen those?
No.
Oh yeah. I've got some really good special videos. We have to share with you.
Yes. Yeah. No, please.
No,
I
will.
would love to.
Yeah.
That first like practice table read we did was so special.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a really special film. I'm so excited for everybody to see it.
How do you guys feel about it? Like, how are you feeling?
I mean, honestly, I'm very confident in it. I feel like it's gonna be a great movie. I think that one of the best things has been finally getting to like be a part of it in the sense of like, like I've said this multiple times already in this podcast, is like me, you, Milo, all of us kind of grew up in the same era of Disney.
Yeah.
And so it was like we always knew of each other, everything like that, but it's really cool to be able to come together and like make a movie together.
Yeah.
I also think with like I think that the music is insane.
Yeah.
And I think that some of the score is just really unreal. We heard some of it when we were doing ADR, and I think the location looks unbelievable.
It really does.
It's gonna be really good. I think people are gonna love it.
It's a project that I'm sure you guys feel the same way as parents, that you're really proud of, that your kids are a part of too. Like it's just it has such a great message for kids, and I'm really proud of the work that they did, and I'm also really proud that he is a part of something that has such great people involved, like you guys as actors, I say this all the time, but on a project, you're lucky if you make a friend off of that project. And I feel like you've been very lucky to have incredible experiences with a lot of the people that were in that cast, that are in that cast. And so I feel like that's going to translate.
Oh yeah,
through
you definitely see how much fun we had.
Oh yeah, I think even the first 3 though, because that cast was very tight too.
Yeah,
and you could see it through the movies. I mean, you could definitely, and this
translates.
And again, so you have the younger ones and so it really, because in the first, I mean, some of those actors were much older. You guys were 16, but some were in their late 20s.
That's wild.
Mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
But everyone, really got along like really well and stuff. So the same experience that you guys had.
Well, even all the dancers and everything too. Like
totally,
you could just see how much fun we're all having. In the 4th one and in all of them, honestly. But yeah,
that's so great. Do you guys have any advice as parents of Meg through that zombies phenomenon when it started for us in this zombies?
Great question.
The next phase.
Because after this comes out and after tour. Crazy.
No, I would just enjoy it. That's the one thing, enjoy it. And I think that you said to be really proud of it, because to me, when, not only with Meg performing and doing it and how happy it made her and how enriching the whole experience was, but when the fans reach out to you and they say how much they learned or how they helped themselves, whether they're being bullied at school or whether they felt anxious or they were having issues, and they would say, well, Addison did this or Zed did that. And they basically took it and they learned these lessons on how to come together. And it was just really powerful to see it. And to this day, when fans come up, they're always saying, oh, I love your character. I learned so much or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's really when the kids see this and the new fans and the old fans, it's going to be kind of the same thing when you're going to hear that. And it's just going to be such an enriching experience for you.
That.
Well, the first one, though, really didn't know what was good. Like, we didn't know that it was going to be this,
Not at
So
all.
Meg and Milo did it. And then Meg tells the story. We were at a book signing at Barnes & Nobles, and we thought, 30, 40 people, because it hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And it was just
And he
like,
Is that a
Shaq.
blarney?
Yeah.
Was that a blarney moment?
That's a
Or-
blarney moment. Well, no, Shaq was the blarney moment.
Mike, that was so rude of me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's funny. I
She
said, no,
and
that,
you saw Shaq.
He's telling the true story, but then he said,
Okay.
no, but hundreds of people ended up showing up. That's the story.
That is true.
That's
Blarney
crazy.
Part of the story
Please.
was that Shaq showed up.
Amazing.
And he did, legit.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
Oh.
Kind of.
kind of.
He was in the Grove, and Milo and Shaq's son went to high school together.
Oh, that's funny.
So we ran into them outside of the signing. Nothing to do with the signing.
But you're like,
We
Shaq
like
showed
walked
up
Shaq
out,
showed up
and
to the
Milo was
signing.
like, "Oh my god, hey!" And we were like, "Oh my god, hey!" And then introduced each other. We walked away. He was like, he was in line for the sign.
We told him, cut the line, come up front. So that's the Blarney
That's
part.
the Blarney.
Shaq wanted Meg.
Well,
You're right. I didn't get to it yet, but
okay. Well done, sir.
He
Well
was
done.
telling the story to somebody, and we were both like,
What?
"It was crazy."
Oh, it's so good.
That's
Oh
amazing.
my god.
it's so
Shaq,
good.
Shaq was in the back of the line like,
I feel like that's the case though. Like I still am expecting if they have a signing at Barnes and Noble or something like
Yeah.
that, there's gonna be 30 people there. Like,
Yeah, but
that's
there
maybe.
won't be.
not
That's
now.
crazy.
Not now.
Well, even-
This zombies thing is
Well,
a big
because
phenomenon.
this summer they're going on the Disney, the Descendants
Yeah,
Zombies
so
Worlds Collide tour,
exciting.
which we're just like hoping that maybe Meg, you're gonna like make a
You never
a guest
know.
appearance
you
somewhere.
never know.
We'll
never
see.
know.
But that would be a lot of fun.
That would be
Mhm.
really fun.
But I literally like even for that, some of the moms and I were like, are they gonna come see our kids? Like, is that actually a thing? Like they're
Yeah.
gonna come? Because you don't realize how huge. I mean, now we do have an understanding because obviously this is the fourth one. So we've seen
Yeah.
everything and the
Mhm.
success of it with you guys. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
The first time Liz and I'll speak for myself, but I think Liz and I, so when you go to the Disney parks, like, like the kids just come, like there
Totally.
you get mobbed and stuff.
Yeah.
And in New York and in LA, it happens, but not infrequently. But we went to Japan. So we're in Japan, and every morning, like the lobby is like filled with these kids. That's when you saw the power of Disney.
Japan.
Like in Japan, the lobby. So every day,
Because they were just Disney fans
Were
or
you
like
there for
zombie fans.
yourselves? Like on a
She was doing,
trip,
like,
or you were there
interviews
for
and-
I was doing some stuff, but
Okay.
it was mostly just for.
personal.
It was just
Wow.
personal.
But
Yeah.
But she did go to the Disney Channel offices there, and they did do a lot of interviews. They had
It was so
magazines
fun.
and did all that, and was on the local
But
TV
yeah, it's just
station.
Disney is just so
And these kids
global.
would just bring gifts in the lobby. And so each day it went from like, again, this isn't, each day it just went more and more and more. And it got to the point where we were going under and then
Oh my
taking the
gosh.
elevator straight up just to avoid, because Meg was tired or whatever. And she's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
go through that or whatever.
Totally.
So at a certain point, we had so many gifts in the room. We're like, what are we going to do with all this stuff?
Oh
Like,
my god.
Yeah.
So we like went to the Disney office and said, is there any way you could like ship this stuff back?
Wow.
So I mean, it was just amazing. And again, just the power. You don't realize how big Disney is, even just around the rest of the world. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Or even
insane.
Disney Channel as well. Like
That's
it's still,
crazy.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I want to also chat some music stuff because
Yeah.
I love that you're a singer, not just an actor
Mhm.
and a dancer, all of the things. But we keep like talking about In My Bag on and over and over and over again. But we are big fans of that song in our house. And I have to admit that I did not know what In My Bag meant.
She didn't know. I was at it. We were at a dance class. I was at the class when I called you.
Yeah.
It didn't
With
matter
Draco.
that I didn't know what it meant because
my mom was
such a bop that
my
I was
mom
like,
was-
great. And I'm like, hold on. I feel like I'm like young enough that I should know what that meant. But that's that whole like, I'm not 25 anymore.
I was outdoor. I was outside. And we were like hitting the like.
Yeah.
You were with Draco, yeah.
Okay, so we're doing that, right? And she comes out, and I'm like, Mom, watch this. Like, I just learned this. It's tough. And so I do it. And she's like, What's in my bag?
So what is in my bag mean?
And I'm like, bro, you got motion. Like you're just like.
And
you're in your
Draco's
bag.
like,
What is that?
Draco, who by the way is not much. Yeah, I think he's like maybe a few years younger than me. He's like, so cool and knows everything. And he's like, it's just like you're like in your bag. Like you got
just
your
got
stuff together.
you got
Like you got,
motion,
yeah.
Getting shit done.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so my question is, did you know what in my bag meant? Or did she have to explain that also?
Yeah, she had to explain.
I think I knew. I think I knew.
Yeah.
Well,
an
I got
idea.
the general vibe, but I didn't know exactly,
Now
what
I'm using it all the time.
So the J-Wee thing, like, so in the club we're
Like
jumping like
J-Wee.
J-Wee.
Yeah.
So Liz right away was just like, what's J-Wee?
We had the same conversation at dinner.
So I explained to her. I said J I think is Jordan and we is the next line, but Meg's saying them close together.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty clear, you know. But then when it went out on the video, every comment was like, "What's J-Wee? Who's J-Wee?"
Yeah,
Just like,
I've
I
had
guess
that.
It wasn't. I guess it was.
Yeah.
Like
My friend was like, yeah, I feel like I've had the conversation, like, explain. Yeah.
That is
My
so
one
funny.
friend was like, yeah, like, is J-Wee like a new like rapper that you like? I'm like,
That's
yes. No.
Yeah, it's, we went-
like
J-Wee.
J-Wee.
But it's actually
J,
J-
we.
J. We in the club.
Yeah.
We're jumping.
Yeah. Well, I'm like such a fan of it. What's next for music for you?
This whole year, I'm like rolling out an EP.
I love it.
And I'm so excited for it. And
Go check it
yeah,
out.
and kind of just like slowly releasing it for the whole, and then it'll probably be out in like the summer
Love it.
time. And yeah, I'm so excited. It's
Sync it up with J4, Z4.
yeah,
Yeah.
J-Wee.
In the
Um,
club and we dump it like
J-Wee.
Z4. Oh.
Z4. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I feel like this music is finally what it's like. All different vibes for sure, but
Yeah.
it all is very cohesive and like who I am.
I love it.
And I think it will like show people a bit more of my like who I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Thanks. Thank you.
Can't wait.
That's so sick. Dad, what's up on the TV
So,
right
I mean,
now?
should we jam to a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Just because we can.
This is like, honestly, like I was saying. Wait, did I say this on the pod or before or on the pre-pod
I don't know.
about my buddy and me putting you onto the song
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you said
pre.
it earlier. Yeah.
earlier? Yeah.
Brief
I-
bod.
How
Pre-pod.
many bags did you have in this?
So many. How many?
That's a lot.
It was
I
a
would
lot.
say,
it was a whole pile.
24.
That's hilarious. Were they all yours?
No, definitely not. I feel like I do have a lot of purses though,
in
for
multiple
sure.
bags.
But and multiple bags,
you
and I'm in
feel-
them all.
As a
but-
final question, do you feel like you're really like in your bag right now?
yes.
Yeah. Y'all see what I did
All
there?
in our bag.
Meg's so in
Yes.
Use it in a sentence.
Yes. I'm in my bag.
Yes.
And I'm in
My
my bag.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you guys so much. Seriously, Meg, Liz, Mike, for coming and being a part of MOMager.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
for
Well,
being so
thank
willing to take us behind the scenes of your Hollywood/New York family life.
Yeah.
East Coast, West Coast.
And thanks so much to our viewers and listeners for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications.
Yes.
And we will see y'all next time on MOMager, a Barton fan podcast. Peace.
It's that MOMager life. Take it day by day.
That was fun.
Thank you guys so much.